How do you make a profit? By selling a put option 3 to 6 months out with a hedge by buying another put. Donut shop deal. A safe way to sell put options. Let's break down this strategy step by step. U equals smart investor. What do you have? Nothing. You want some cash? How are you going to get some cash? Well, you're not going to go get a job. You're not going to start a lemonade stand. You gonna sell put options on a stock that you would unmind owning at a discount, like a donut shop franchise. Let's call it DNT. Let's say you think DNT is fairly valued at $90 per share. So you're saying, I wouldn't mind buying this stock at $90 per share? You don't want to just outright buy the stock because you don't have any money. So how are you going to come up with $90 per share? Well, you're going to sell the right to buy the stock at $90 per share to somebody who thinks that DNT might go down. Here's how that works. The put option is a deal where somebody pays you for the right to sell you the stock later. You get to keep whatever they pay you. So let's say somebody wants to buy the right to sell you DNT at $90 per share in 6 months. They pay you $8 for that right. You get to keep that $8 no matter what happens. If the price of DNT stays above $90, you keep the $8 and don't buy the stock. Easy profit. The stock drops below $90. You'll have to buy the stock at $90 no matter what it's trading for. Maybe you're like, hey, it dropped to $80. I'm taking my $8 profit and running. Or maybe DNT crashes below 90 to 60. What do you do then? Well, if you don't have a plan for that, you're just gambling. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to make money and protect ourselves from risk. So what if it crashed way below 90, say 260? Well, there's actually something you can do about that. Step 2. Buy a lower strike put option, a hedge. Now imagine you say, well, just in case things go bad, I'll buy insurance. The right to sell the stock for $70, that'll give me a plan B if things go bad. You pay $2 for that insurance. Now, here's what your real deal looks like. You sell the $90 put for $8. You buy the $70 put for $2. Total net credit, $6. You get this upfront. That's like free money for making a promise. Let's talk about the possible outcomes. No one. Stock stays above 90. No one sells you anything and you keep the full $6 profit. That's like free money for making a promise. No. 2. Stock drops to 80. You buy the stock at 90. And now it's only worth 80. So you take an effective loss of $10. But you got $6 up front. So your real loss is only $4. And you still have long-term value if you like the stock. No. 3. Stock crashes to 60. You reforce to buy at 90. But you use your 70 put to sell it back at 70. Your loss is $20, but you got $6 up front. So your net loss is $14. Your hedge saved you from a 30-plus disaster. This is the beauty of selling puts. You collect money up front, the premium, and you define your maximum risk. You target stocks that you don't mind owning at a discount. So let's apply this to NVDA. Our objective here is to generate income by selling a put option on NVDA while hedging the potential downside risk by purchasing a lower strike put option. To implement this strategy, we first need to find the current market price of NVDA and choose a strike price for our put options. At the time of recording, NVDA is trading around $115 per share. For the sake of this example, let's choose a strike price of $110 per share. Next, we need to determine the expiration date for our put options. For this example, let's choose an expiration date that is 3 to 6 months out, specifically August 15, 2025. This gives us enough time to sell a put option and receive a premium while still having a decent amount of time before the expiration date. Now we can use a trading platform or website to look up the prices for these put options. To sell a put option with a strike price of $110 per share expiring on August 15, 2025, the premium being offered is approximately $8.00 per share. Similarly, to buy a lower strike put option with a strike price of $90 per share and the same expiration date, the premium being offered is approximately $3.00 per share. This means that if we were to sell the $110 strike put and buy the $90 strike put, we would receive a net credit of $5.00 per share. This is the amount that we would keep as profit regardless of what happens to the stock price between now and the expiration date. Here's a breakdown of the possible outcomes at expiration. If the stock price of NVDA remains above $110, both options will expire worthless, and we will keep the full $5.00 net credit per share. The stock price of NVDA falls between $90 and $110. The $110 strike put will be exercised, and we will buy 100 shares of NVDA at the strike price of $110. The $90 strike put will expire worthless and are effective. Purchase price for the shares of NVDA will be reduced by the $5.00 net credit that we received when we sold the put option. In this scenario, we would own 100 shares of NVDA at an effective price of $105 per share. The stock price of NVDA falls below $90. The $110 strike put will be exercised, and we will buy 100 shares of NVDA at the strike price of $110. The $90 strike put will also be exercised, and we will sell 100 shares of NVDA at the strike price of $90. Our total loss on this trade would be $20 per share. However, we would have received a net credit of $5.00 per share when we sold the put options. Therefore, our net loss on this trade would be $15 per share. There are a few things to keep in mind when considering this trade. First, NVDA is scheduled to report earnings on May 28, 2025. This could cause the stock price to move significantly in either direction and increase the risk of this trade. Second, it's important to consider the overall market conditions and any relevant news that could impact the stock price of NVDA before executing this trade. Third option, prices can change rapidly, so it's important to check the current prices for the put options before placing a trade. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, and check out my other videos for more actionable trading tips. Thanks for watching.